Hello, everybody, and welcome to the OCRP iRacing series at Charlotte. We're at the Roval tonight, going road course racing for the Queen City 115 here tonight, as we have 25 minutes on the clock right now. As they're completing practice, we move into to qualifying, not Charlotte, move into qualifying, and then we will have a 10-minute session, 5 minutes of which will be the driver's meeting. I am joined by Mr. Civ Ryan. How you doing tonight? Ready for some road course action? Tell us all about how things went on Monday for you.
Well, I'm doing mighty fine, Jeff. Thanks for having me once again up here in the Favignano broadcast booth. Monday was interesting. I hated it. It was. I almost parked the car. It was not fun. It was just so. The track is really hot right now. It was hot on Monday. The cars, basically, it's like you're driving on ice out there. Really slipping and sliding all over the place. If you give it too much throttle, your back end will come out. If you give it, if you're not easy on inputs, it'll turn. When you want to turn the car, it understeers like nobody's business. It is a tough track for these cars. These cars are definitely not meant for this type of track. Thank you for doing that, by the way. I see that.
Nah, no problem.
Sharing your screen. So yeah, it's basically who can manage this track with these tires, because it is a beast to tame, and there's going to be a lot of wrecks. There's going to be a lot of spinning, and hopefully these drivers can get away without incident points as well, because we got to talk about that later.
Yes, and it is going to be a game here of patience. That's all you can really say. I think that we're going to see a lot of guys that are going to be too gung-ho in the beginning, especially in the first two laps, and that can just end your whole day here, especially with the the fast repair issue. And then on top of that, you have so much racing to go after the first two laps, and it's hard to turn that off in your brain when you're ready to go racing, but that is so necessary at every road course that you tackle. And I think that the person who takes that patience and prolongs that through the entire race is going to ultimately win.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is not an easy track, and the fast guys are going to be real fast, and I think a lot of drivers are going to get pretty frustrated getting around this track. But you got guys like Rucci, Fodorero were really fast. Rucci didn't race on Monday. Leonard Fodorero actually won it on Monday, so he had a great race. But you got guys like Steinhoff who are really fast. Bay Area Bugs you won't be seeing tonight. He's not going to be racing tonight. He's actually, speaking of Bugs, he's going to be our race control and pit reporter tonight. So he's stepping into a different role for tonight's race.
Fantastic.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm excited for this one, and hopefully these guys can put on a good show.
I think they are going to do exactly that. Right now, Rucci is the top of the board with the fastest lap in practice, but Leonard Fodorero had the fastest lap for a very long time, and it took Rucci a long time to knock him off. So Fodorero winning that Monday night race is going to have that momentum moving in here tonight on Thursday to try to get it done again. But don't count out Potter, because Potter has been very, very consistent throughout this season, and I wouldn't be surprised to see something change there. Now, some things from the last race that changed were points. And right around the 15th position in point standings right now, Jeffrey Spells gained 9 positions. So that's actually really, really nice. And Stefan Benende as well. They both had really good runs, and that jumped them up. The biggest loser in the last race was Andrew Ewing, that ended up dropping 11 points. So right now, your top 10 in points are Matt Rucci, Leonard Fodorero, Joel Brown, Dylan Macedo, Nick Sargent, Wes Graham, Jason Lance. Then you have Ryan Potter, James Hilton, Charles Gray. Which is interesting because Brandon Osborne just won at Bristol, and yet he jumped up 8 positions, but he's right there on the bubble of 11th. So he needs to do really well tonight to continue that push to get towards the top, because we don't have a playoff style of or any kind of chase or whatever you want to call it. So it all comes down to points, and these guys got to be consistent throughout their entire season to win the championship.
Absolutely. It's not winning just one race. It's being consistent and placing well over all races. That's how points work. So it'll be cool to see who can get in the top 10 and top 5 tonight. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Speaking of Brandon Osborne that you're talking about, I haven't seen him connect yet, so I'm not sure if he's going to make it out to the race tonight.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Might be a late showing. Some guys. I mean, this is
still a little early.
It is early, yeah.
It's still a little early for some of these guys because West and stuff they haven't connected yet, and they usually jump in and start showing their speed right with about usually 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's always my favorite when Wes does that. You think you're doing well and practicing, and then Wes hops in and just destroys your time with 2 laps to go. And you're like, okay, great.
There you have it,
Wes.
And we gotta talk about having a race control is a really, really nice thing. We did not have a race control when we started this season, and now that we do, with Brandon Buggs taking that position and that role, we might see some difference when it comes to how cautions are displayed. Instead of letting iRacing figure out, hey, should we have a caution or not? Now it's up to race control to decide that.
Absolutely, and it adds a human element to a role that is very much needed. You don't want to just rely on computer software to handle cautions and things like that. And the other thing that Bugs will be doing will be watching the ARCA braking that's been happening on the past few ovals that we've been at. So I know that he's talked to racers and Wes and people that run the league, and they're going to try and crack down on people that are just trying to floor it and get their way through cautions when they should be braking. So they're going to be watching that closely, try to curb that bad habit.
And that's a really good thing because that is a problem that every league faces, and this one is not exempt from that. Guys that just don't want to give up that position. Now, the difference is that you would have guys that were trying to push to limits because iRacing was throwing the cautions. They didn't know how it was going to play out for them. But then now you have race control. Something's a little bit different there, and now they have more eyes on what they're actually doing when they're not slowing down for wrecks, because when that caution comes out, it doesn't matter. This isn't 1994 where these guys need to cold trickle it all the way through a wreck to get position whenever the field's been frozen.
Yeah, exactly. There's no need for that. And in iRacing, as long as your car is still moving forward, you don't lose any positions once the caution comes out. So as long as you're still moving, and that you can be 5 miles an hour, you will not lose position. So there's really no excuse not to try and brake. I know it's funny, Jeff. I'm sure you've been there when you're driving. You're like, man, I really want to brake, but there's a guy right behind me, and hopefully. And man, sometimes I wish these fake rear brake lights actually worked.
Yes,
it'd be useful.
Which, yeah, and during a rain event for a road course, they would have a flashing light there, but they do not. We're not expecting rain tonight because iRacing has not implemented that into the sim yet, and that would just be a nightmare, I think, all around. And not that this isn't going to be a nightmare with the track being so hot. Now, I gotta say, the track has cooled off quite a bit. We talked about it was early like 100 and I think it was like 100 and nope, it's back up to 127. It had dropped to 119, but now that sun came out again, and we're back to 127. That's a hot track.
It basically just creates a skating rink out there. Like ice racing to the max. We were finding we were able to get basically an out lap, one good lap, and then your tires just immediately fell off and you were just babying the car around. So you're going to see the first 2 laps, probably these guys on pace, and then it'll just dramatically fall off. As you see Nick Sargent there, that is a popular place to spin. It's just the way the Roval's designed too, Jeff, with the ups and downs. The car just wants to get loose. You're just babying this car around the course, trying to get as much speed as you can out of it while just living on the edge. So it's probably 50 laps of pure anxiety for some of these drivers.
It's going to be interesting because this is the first roast. This is the first road course of the season, and that means a lot. And I'll tell you why, because you have guys that are absolute beasts when it comes to the 1.5s, short tracks. But this is a whole new world, and you have guys that are, performing mid-pack, etc. at the start of this season. This is their chance to shine tonight, to show, hey, I've got speed. But I've got to say, what I've seen in practice so far is the same suspects we normally see up there. So it just goes to show what kind of caliber of drivers we actually have.
Absolutely. And you just see Dylan Macedo pop up to fourth place there. He is a road course beast. That guy is a very good endurance driver. He'll definitely be one to watch as well. He knows his way around a road track, and he can handle the car. So I'm expecting great things out of you, young Macedo.
Let's ride on board with him and see how he gets around the track. Actually, I think he's coming down pit road now, so that will be given to someone else. So, but one we can ride along with is going to be Matt Rucci. Let's see how he is getting around the Roval here. It's an interesting track because there's so many different elevation changes in the midfield, in the infield area there. And then you come out here and it's a Roval, so you're getting this position that you're at coming out of the road course onto the main oval, and then on the backstretch, this is where you have to be absolutely on your braking zone to get into the chicane here, not hit those blue turtles and go for a flight.
Yeah, we'll run on board here, but as you saw back there, the braking point is so early for these cars because just the brakes and the tires. So you're gonna be braking around sign 5 there on the right that you'll see that's gonna be their braking point. And right here, they're already letting off the gas, getting down into second gear in prep for this corner.
Look at how surgical he was on that.
He's a robot.
Rucci bot nailing those chicanes. I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to be as straight as possible. You don't want the car sideways. You don't want any kind of like too much braking in the front of the car. And no, he nailed that. That's exactly what you want to do. And that's the reason why he's the top of the board right now in speed.
And then coming into the infield here, they're pretty much going to be in second this whole way around except for this straight here. But you're literally just in second this whole way around. Just literally, it's all about just feathering the throttle, just making sure to keep your car pointed forward while getting as much speed as possible and not losing it. And you see here, he's going to go wide and try and cut this corner. Get as much speed as he can on the Roval.
And then up next to that wall to get that momentum. Similar to what you would see if a driver went out onto the track for a qualifying session. You get to the top of the track and wind the car up, and that's what they're doing there. And then harden the brakes here, and then this is what it's like to hit the chicane back here on board. There's a lot going on here, and there's a lot of room for error. As you saw right there, he gets right next to that wall. Fantastic driving.
Yeah, if you're not careful and perfect on your brakes going into those bus stop-like chicanes, it could be disaster for a lot of these guys. You get 2 back-to-back here, and this one is a doozy. And those sausage curbs, Jeff, are unforgiving. It will launch your car up if you go a little too aggressive. So man, these guys just got to be real careful out here.
Yeah, and that comes all the way back to what I said in the very beginning of the broadcast, that it's going to come down to patience. That the more patience the driver shows to this track, because you're not necessarily racing everybody next to you so much as the field will spread out, but you are attacking the track, and the best you can be by being patient, not putting yourself in a bad position to give up that track position, will ultimately win you the race. That and pit strategy.
Absolutely. Speaking of pit strategy, I was just going to ask Bugs if we can pull him and see what he's hearing for pit strategy and what he's thinking. So I'm actually going to pull him here and see if he's around. Mr. Bugs, do you have a copy?
Hello?
Oh, hello. We're just talking about pit strategies and pit stops. What do you think is going to happen tonight with the pit stops? Is this going to be a one-stop race?
That's what I would assume. One-stop race. I think most people are going to do the usual and just cut it right in half, come down halfway through the race. But it's hard to tell because it's a pretty hot track. It's cooling down a little bit. The clouds are coming in, but these tires are going to fall off pretty quick. So I think some people are going to do 2, but I think we're going to see a lot of the top guys try to stretch it out and do 1, maybe split it right down the middle.
Because for fuel-wise, it should only be a one-stop race, correct?
Yeah, fuel, you can make it. You got to come in at some point. I believe it's going to be around lap 33, if I remember correctly, for a full fuel run. So I don't know if anyone's going to try to stretch it out that long on tires, but you definitely got to come down for fuel.
We're just talking about patience and how important it is in this race. When you see guys like Rucci and Favignano being absolute lightning, now Graham 3rd fastest in practice, how important is that patience and to let let the race come to you?
It's extremely important. This is a very, very tough track. It catches you off guard at almost every turn, so you really just gotta let yourself get in the groove and be patient and wait for the other drivers to make mistakes and stay consistent. If you can stay consistent, then you will come out on top at the Roval.
Well, there you have it. The race controller for tonight, and good luck in that position. I'm sure a lot of people will be happy with people keeping eyes on the track and throwing the flags that need to be thrown, and also to keep an eye on those arc breakers as
absolutely. That's my job. That's what I'm looking for. I'm watching.
All right, fantastic. There you go. That's Mr. Brandon Buggs, and you're more than welcome to hang out here in the booth if you want to, all you want. We're just gonna probably pull people in once in a while.
I'll be popping in with some more pitch strategy updates from some certain drivers if I can get a hold of them.
Fantastic. Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good, buddy.
And that was, Graham is third fastest right now. So talk about a person that watched everybody by doing the broadcasts he does on Monday nights, watching how the races kind of unfold and taking that knowledge. But let's not say that Graham isn't good at iRacing, one, but two, because he likes to be like, it's just good to see other guys out here doing this and blah, blah, blah. He's extremely humble when it comes to his racing craft, but look at this. I mean, third fastest right now, and you can see how he's attacking the track. He definitely knows how to get around here.
Yeah, don't mistake his humbleness for him letting off the gas, because he's not just letting guys win. He wants this win, and he's a fast driver. He knows this track. I don't know how many times he's driven this track. I'm sure it's more than a handful. Probably way too many than he wants to admit. So he knows his way around this track, and Wes also a fantastic endurance racer and road track driver. So he knows how to keep a car. Oh, that's a little brouhaha. He knows how to keep a car going straight for a long time. And I think if he can weather the storm and keep it going straight and fast through the tire degradation, then he'll get a podium.
Connor Skinner making his way around here with a lot of damage to that car, but we are in practice, so a lot of these guys pushing the limits of their driving ability and what the car can bring them, and that's why you'll see a lot of crashes and damage during this session for the next 8 minutes and 38 seconds. So that's the reason why you'll see crashes happening back there. Not a big deal. It's just guys, putting it all on the line, because I mean, this is just, I've driven this track in iRacing, and it's just not easy to get around here.
And speak of the devil, Brandon Osborne making his way onto the track. Glad he showed up. He had an incredible performance on Monday, Jeff, hot off of his win at what was it? Bristol.
Yeah.
So hot off his win at Bristol, he had a great performance Monday night in the practice race. He got second, and I think he wants some. I think he wants that first place victory off of Favignano. It's not going to be easy because we got Rucci on the track as well. So, man, the top five it's fierce competition.
See how he attacks the chicane on the backstretch here down to second gear. About 4,000 RPM right there. That's where you want to be. You don't want to let it get, too low, because then when you start to ramp it back up again, you can easily spin those tires. And there he's back all the way up to third gear, and he will get into fourth gear before getting into this chicane here. There's third, and he'll probably take this one in second, I would imagine, as well. So nobody taking any of the chicanes in first gear.
Nope. No, you stay away from first gear on this track. It's too unpredictable, and it's not really needed. But you'll see as the tires go off around 15 laps in, the exit out of the corners is so tough, Jeff, because you try to roll on the throttle, and even if you're being gentle on the throttle and rolling into it, you still will break loose traction as you get into higher RPMs in second and in third. It still will break loose in third. And that was so frustrating for me, because I'm like, I'm trying my hardest to baby this car, and it still wants to break loose. It feels like you're driving, those shopping carts in a grocery store. That's what it feels like you're driving on, just zero traction. It's just, you're just. I
think a lot of that has to do with the track temperature as well. I mean,
absolutely.
You're dealing with flat corners on a heavy car with no brakes, essentially. I mean, they have better brakes than you would think, but still, no brakes. I mean, it's just, if you don't get that brake bias in where you need it, you're going for a ride. You're seeing it already tonight.
Yeah, pretty much IRL slot car racing. You know those slot cars, little electric cars you race around the track? Yeah, it's basically that. Is the best way to explain it.
See if anybody else is out here. Tyler Thomas making his way around the track right now. Almost said he wasn't going to race tonight. Said he might be a nuisance. I think he's going to keep an eye on it. And we always encourage guys that have that mentality of like, this is too hard. I don't like it. I don't know if this is going to work out. Maybe I should park it. You know, that's usually the time that you probably should race, because you're only going to get better by experience. And when you're a rookie, I mean, just as long as you're staying out of the way and you're not causing wrecks with other guys, you know, it's invaluable to be out here and to turn laps here at the Roval.
Yeah, exactly, Jeff. I hope we see a lot of guys just stick it out and don't rage quit, and they get some track time, because that will only make you a better racer. Every time I see guys that get frustrated and then they just quit early, I just go, man, like it's good practice. Like, there's a reason you're slow. Like, you should be out there practicing more. So but I get their frustration. You should have heard me and Bugs cursing and screaming when we were driving this track. We were just yelling at each other and yelling at the track, and I wanted to park it damn near 5 times. So I understand both sides of that story, but I really hope they just power through and hang in there.
Absolutely. It's Stefan Benende up to the 4th position. Dylan Macedo knocked off. And so this is everybody hot lapping right now. So Stefan Benende showed up with some speed right there. That's why we were watching him there. And then it was Ryan Steinhoff that decided to jump up to the 5th position and pushed Graham back one more space as well. So Steinhoff doing a really good job, and that was the best lap he had of a 1:24.533 as we see Osborne climb right there into the 4th fastest position in practice. So I think it's going to be interesting. I'm seeing these guys turning these laps here. We have a lot of 123. So Rucci's at a 123 flat. Then you have Fodorero with a 123.3. Then you have Osborne there with a 123.9. And then it's Stefan Benende with a 124. So 4 drivers, I'm sorry. Dylan Macedo there wasn't on the track yet, but he had a 123.9. So 4 drivers in the 123s.
If you're getting into the 124s even, you are flying around this track. It is so hard. I was trying, I'm not saying I'm a good driver, but I was struggling to get into the low 125. So these guys are incredibly fast around this track. And Stefan Benende, going back to him, he also had a good showing there on Monday, Jeff. He had some trouble though, and that's what the next topic I want to get into is he ran into some incident points trouble.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he got involved in avoiding some wrecks and unfortunately got some X's. And the rule we have right now for road courses is if you get 10 incident points, you have to take a drive-through penalty. And that's 10 incident points is pretty easy to get. The rule was made to stop like corner cutting, because there's been a few road tracks where you could cut a corner a lot and gain a lot of time. So it was trying to stop people from doing track limits. But yeah, so Stefan Benende had to take a drive-through penalty on Monday night. He was not too happy about it, because it wasn't like he was going off track. He was just trying to avoid lap cars and that thing. So I know a lot of drivers weren't too happy about it, but it is the rules. So hopefully we don't see any sad stories like that tonight.
Well, yeah, I think I think a lot of people don't understand that these rules are in place to make the racing a better thing for everyone here. It can't just be, what we were in season 1. And season 1 was, as many as it takes to get the job done, because we're here to have fun. Now things have changed. Things are much more on the line. Now, there's no cash prize, nothing like this for the purse of a race or for a championship. A lot of leagues do actually have in place. Instead, it's just kind of bragging rights, and just it is fun for them. But it doesn't mean that it isn't competitive, and a lot of these guys take it to heart whenever they have to be parked or something happens, like Stefan Benende with incident points. So those rules are in place for a reason, and nothing's set in stone. It's like the same motto we have in OCRP: nothing's set in stone. So things can always change on the fly, but I think it's a good idea for them to bring more rules to the pool here and try to make the racing product better.
That's just it, right? Like, just try it, see how it works, and if it doesn't, they can change it, and if not, then we'll keep it. So I appreciate the willingness to try from all the drivers and from our OCRP iRacing organizers, Wes and Tony there. So I'm glad that they were trying new things, because season 1 was a bit of a Wild West, hey Jeff?
Oh yes, it was, and it was a lot of guys just that had never played before. They have never driven a virtual race car. One of those drivers, as you see right there, was Alex Reno, and Reno started out with 0 experience in sim racing, and now he's a fantastic driver. He's a seasoned veteran here at OCRP for sure. Still trying to get his first win, and I think it's going to come to him when he's least expecting it. That's usually how those things work out.
We need to start calling Alexander Reno the Iron Man, because crazy statistic about Reno is, in what season are we in? Season 9? In 9 seasons, he has missed 1 race.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
That's insane. He's been to damn near every single race. So yeah, he's the Iron Man of this league. He always shows up, and good on him.
Robert Kellert there in the Bearder car. He's showing 19th fastest so far on the speed chart there, with a 1:29.1. So not his best effort there for sure, but they're going to start the qualifying, and we're going to watch a little bit here before we jump into a break. But we have 9 minutes and 50 seconds now on the clock. For the first 5 minutes, we'll have qualifying, and then after that, like I said, that will be the drivers' meeting, as it usually goes. So we're waiting to see some people get on the track first, and it looks like we might have a couple here in a second. Here's Ryan Potter making his way out on the track. Ones to watch tonight is definitely going to be Dylan Macedo. And here's the thing. Before I talk about Dylan Macedo, Brandon Osborne, Rucci, Graham, it comes down to qualifying. And we've seen a lot of good drivers get bad qualifying results, get in a bad position as far as track position goes at the start of the race, and it costs them everything. So qualifying means a lot. And, whenever I was an iRacer in the NIS series, I was really good at qualifying, like really good at qualifying. I had so many poles, but I only had like a couple wins out of that season. But still, you have to be so on the mark, especially with a road course in qualifying, because it really does matter.
Yeah, one little mistake can cost you many positions, so you have to be perfect, because the other guys are going to be perfect. So there is 0 room for error on these 2 qualifying laps. So they only get about 1 lap to warm the tires up. As you see Ryan Potter here, he will be going green after he gets past this last chicane.
All the heat he can in those brakes there too.
That's right. And he is now green flag. He is going for his qualifying time. Let's see how he does.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how he's attacking these different chicanes other than the other drivers, because I think everybody is in second. And we had somebody in the chat actually asking earlier about why aren't these guys jumping into first gear? Well, it's because it's such a short gear, and you're just going to spin the tires and you're going to burn them up. It's not even worth even going down into that gear. And then, to miss a shift that low in your transmission, you're going for a spin.
Yeah, exactly, Jeff. Keeping the RPMs low through those tight chicanes is actually a benefit, because you have way more car control than if you popped in the first, and you risk just spinning on entry and as soon as you get in the throttle. And like you said, the first gear is basically just it's a nothing gear right now with the way the cars are set up for this track. There's not much to it. As we see him getting down to the first chicane here, breaking down all the way to second. Gets a little loose, and see, there you go. That just cost him all his time. You could pretty much throw that lap out the window. He's going to be going for his second one.
He's out there right now. We're going to check out Joel Brown. He's on the track right now as well, and he's trying to get his lap time in as he's taking his first. It looks he's at the top there for a second. Now he's back down to second, but he had the pole there for a second. Macedo showing the pole right now. That's fantastic. I also want to remind people, because the last season we were in the next gen car. The next gen car had that sequential shifter. These do not. These have the old dog box transmissions in them. So to shift, you go into the gear, but you have to blip the throttle when you do it. And you have to make sure you do it at the right time, because if those RPMs are not in line with, you know, how you would match your RPM for rev matching, essentially, you're going to spin those tires and you're going to break traction, and you can possibly wreck the car doing that. So there is a skill to a lot of these guys. I think some of the guys might be using flappy paddles. I'm not really sure. But there are a lot of guys that are out there that are still doing the old dog box trick.
Yeah, Ryan Steinhoff can tell you about his dog box trick with missing a few shifts there. We don't let him live that one down.
No.
But yeah, a lot of guys are actually using the H pattern shifters and clutching. But a lot of guys, there is an auto blip feature, auto clutch, and you can use your paddle shifters. I'm one of them. I'm not comfortable enough to be doing that. There's certain tracks and certain cars I'll do it. Like if I'm racing an MX-5 Cup car, that's a lot of fun to H pattern shift. But I think a lot of these guys are using paddle shifters as well.
And here's Rucci, top of the board right now. He has the pole, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to step on that anytime soon. He will complete that one as well. And Leonard Fodorero just bumped off Osborne for the second spot. That's going to be interesting to watch. I think it's going to be one heck of a race between Fodorero, Osborne, and Benende right now. That's showing fourth. And then don't count out Macedo. Macedo just probably missed a little bit, like we saw, and then we saw some of these guys having those issues. So we'll see how that works out. And Joel Brown, 8th, and Graham, 7th. So good run there. And Potter ended up P10 as of right now.
Matt Rucci on pole with a 122.6. I don't know how he got into the 22s. That is insane. I can't begin to tell you how hard that is. And he smashed Leonard Foderero's time. I know, like 0.3 of a second, you're thinking, oh, that's not that bad. In this type of racing, that's like he crushed it. So Rucci, my God, Rucci.
How does he do it?
He's a robot.
He is a robot. We're watching Isaiah Stevens right now, moving around the track here, showing P12 right now. We'll see if he can increase his position off of this last lap he's on. Should be interesting to see. And I think he's just going to go ahead and come down pit road. He's going to be fine with 12th. And now they're already in their driver's meeting right now. So a lot of these guys trying to get a better time. He's got damage on the right front of that car, so it looks like something happened while he was doing that. So that was interesting. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to start out the race here at the Roval tonight for the Queen City 115. Stay tuned. Welcome on back to the Roval tonight. My name is Jeff Favignano. I'm joined by Civ Ryan. And you know what, Ryan? I think tonight, since you're able to see an actual live image of what we see here on screen, I'll let you do the the starting grid tonight. You'll actually be able to see everybody instead of
Oh yeah.
me always doing it.
Delegate to celebrate, Jeff?
Yeah. Do it once in a while.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a minute and a half left here in the qualifying session. They're in their drivers meeting right now before they get out there in grid, and we will be starting from there. So right now on the pole, Matt Rucci leading in points. Absolute Rucci bot won the championship last season. Can he pull it off tonight here at the Roval? He's got a lot of people that have him. He's got a bullseye on the back of his car because you have Leonard Fodorero, who won on Monday. Then you have Brandon Osborne coming out of a win at Bristol last week. Then Stefan Benende, kind of a heartbreaker of a season for him sometimes because he's been really close to pulling it off, but something always gets in the way.
Yeah, your top 10 are some seriously good drivers in there. And this one, like we said before, one small mistake by any of these drivers could change it for their entire race. So these first few laps are going to be very, very important. And we'll see who can stick it out here at the Roval. But they're starting to grid right now.
Yes,
Le Mans
they
start.
are.
Like it. I wish they ran to their cars. I'm ready to go through the order whenever you are on the cameras there, Jeff.
All right, fantastic. We will get you started right now. I'm going to go ahead and just get a reset on it once I fire it up here because sometimes it's really off. But there you go.
All right, so row 1, we got the 28 car, Matt Rucci. Beside him is going to be Leonard Fodorero in that 67 car. Row 2, we got Brandon Osborne in the 80 and Stefan Facebook Dad Benende in the 73 car. Moving on to row 3, Dylan Macedo, the young buck in the 25 car, with him Ryan Steinhoff and the Miss Shifter himself in the 59. Row 4 is going to show Wes the Mess Graham on Twitch, and Joel Brown, the flow that keeps on giving. Row 5, we got James Hilton in the 89 car and Ryan Potter in that 60 car, who we were watching in qualifying. Row 6, 48 of Nick Sargent and the 44 of Isaiah Stevens. Row 7, Austin Johnson, a rookie out here with a nice start for him. And he's going to be beside Robert Kellert in the 4 car. Good to see Bearder out there. Row number 8, we got Jason Lance and Robert Webb. Row 9, Alexander Reno, the Iron Man OCRP. With him, we got Tyler Thomas in that 8 car. Moving on to row 10, that's going to be it. We got a couple Stigs.
Yes, we always have a couple Stigs.
I love that.
And we have a Porsche safety car tonight.
I'm sure these guys would much rather be driving that car around this track.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. They're not going to be too excited about what they're actually going to have to deal with tonight. And look over here, the 28 ready to start rolling. I know we are. We're ready to go racing. It's going to be a while around. Actually, we probably should have started our starting grid now because I forgot we're at the Roval. This takes a while to get around under caution, but it'll just be one to go from now, and we will be green flag racing here very shortly.
I know we rushed to get that grid in because we're so used to like a short track, or we're like, oh, we gotta go. So now we got some air to fill here, Jeff.
Well, we don't have to worry about that tonight. Weather, what do you think those winds are doing? North at 1 mile per hour, 128. So the track did jump up a couple more degrees. A hot, slick track, air temperature 79 degrees, but that track 128 in the sun. That will change when those clouds move over and cool down some sections of the track. And we'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. If you guys want to know what's up, well, we have the Season 9 schedule right here. We're at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval tonight here on the 3rd. And then next time we'll be at Darlington Raceway for that throwback race. Then we move on to the Desert in Phoenix, February 24th at Auto Club Speedway to say goodbye to that track as it's going away in the real world, actually, on the schedule for NASCAR. And then we move to Kansas Speedway. March 10th will be Iowa. March 17th, Mid-Ohio Raceway. Then Las Vegas before heading out to Richmond and ending everything up in Miami at Homestead on April 7th. A lot of racing to go.
Yep, we're not even are we halfway through the season yet? No, not even close.
No.
Not even close to halfway. We still got a full Season 9 to go. And I'm excited for some of those tracks on the course or on the schedule there.
We are ready to go racing around the Roval. Patience, patience, patience. What can we say? That's going to be the name of the game to get a win here. Can Brandon Osborne do it tonight once again? Or is he going to have to worry about Rucci and Fodorero, the winner of Monday?
Well, it's that time, Twitch chat. Start putting those bets into chat. Who you got winning this race? It is, for me, it's too close to call. It's basically who can, but Rucci. What can we say about Rucci? I think it's everyone's going to be going after him, and who can capitalize on any minor mistake he does.
Yeah, no kidding.
Put your predictions in chat. Who you got to win? And big shout out to everyone watching in the Twitch chat and on Jeff's YouTube Favignano live channel, watching the post races. Thank you for the support, everybody. We love that you're here and supporting us. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. We have the lights off on the pace car. We're going to be going racing 50 laps around the Roval, and we're going to do it right now. Waiting for Rucci is the control car. They're going to get through this final chicane before the green flag comes out. It's green flag racing here at the Oval.
Gotta love the green flag dropping in the middle of a tight chicane in a pack.
Osborne!
In trouble, he saves it!
Nice save by Brandon Osborne. He's going to give up a few positions there, but back out front, you got Matt Rucci. He's got a whole bumper full of Leonard Fodorero right there.
Yeah, Fodorero ain't going anywhere as Osborne with a miraculous save off the start. He only goes down to P5, but he's got Westhemes Graham behind him as well as Steinhoff. There's a whole train of cars behind Osborne. I'm curious to see if he has any damage. But there's some tight racing going on in the back of the field. Jeff, there you go. Osborne working his best to get that car around as Westhemes Graham makes a pass, as well as Steinhoff and Joel Brown.
Yep,
early heartbreaker for the 80 car.
Yeah, not sure what happened there, but yeah, he's going to be dropping a few laps. We saw what happened, but that momentum, I think he's just going to maybe go, hey, you know what? I'm going to back out of this and reassess my mental stats right now, because I got it. I can guarantee you that scared him.
Oh my God. The fact that he saved that is incredible, and like all the props to him. Most drivers, they would have been in the wall crashing. So unbelievable save there. But we're on board here with Leonard Fodorero coming into this second tight chicane here, and look at Rucci. Look at him and the exit speed that he gets to perfection as Fodorero clipped the curb quite a bit. And now we're headed into the infield here in the very, very slippery infield section, as they'll be in second gear for most of their way.
And Brandon Osborne still following positions. He's going to come down pit road. He might have damage to that car.
Luckily for him, there's a faster pair, and I would take it if I was him, because, yeah, you need all the chance you can get to gain, get back to the pack here and try not to go a lap down.
Back out front, it's pretty much the same thing. We've got Leonard Fodorero not giving up right now. He's that back bumper of the 28 and applying the pressure for sure.
Fodorero doing an excellent job. What an incredible driver he has shown himself to be in this league. And I know one thing, and I don't know if it works on a robot, because you can't really play mind games with something that doesn't have a mind, because he's a robot, but he's definitely going to try and stay in his mirror this whole time, saying, hey, buddy, I'm here. Anytime you make a mistake, I'm going to take advantage of it. So hopefully he does so, but he's not going anywhere right now, as the two cars are quickly leaving the field behind.
Yeah, that took no time at all for that to happen. And back in third right now is Stefan Benende and Dylan Macedo getting through that final chicane at the start-finish line. And a lot of racing to go here, so we have pretty much a two-car battle in the front and a two-car battle right here for third and fourth.
Absolutely. I know P6 and 7 looks like they're having a close battle. Same with P9 and 10. They're pretty close to each other on track as well. Not so much. Maybe my timing screen's off, but sorry about that.
It's all right. Sometimes it's hard to follow that because it can be a little behind. But yeah, watching back out front, this hasn't changed. He's there still.
As these drivers start to settle in, and as these tires start to settle out, because we're going to watch these lap times fall, and it's going to get real slippery real quick here, Jeff.
Man, right there is that braking position. You can see the difference between the two drivers getting into that corner. It looks like Favignano is getting into the corners a lot better than Rucci is, but Rucci has that exit speed right now.
Just looking through the field, see if there's any close racing going on. Looked like there was some in P12. Austin Johnson battling with Jason Lance. They are pretty close here. Lance just lost his position, but he's going to quickly try and regain it back on Austin Johnson, one of the rookies, for P11.
You know, watching back here, Andrew Ewing getting around the 22 of Alex Reno for the 14th position. So he'll move up a position there. New colors for that 15 car.
Dylan Macedo and Stefan Benende, they're trying to rein each other in there. Not so much. I'm just trying to look through. I think our closest battle on track is still first place, Jeff.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it's changed really anything here. And Leonard is not giving up, man.
He is not going anywhere. Incredible driving by these two drivers.
And watch, here's Favignano. He's got a lot of speed in the Roval section of the course. And then there's the braking. I think he's just kind of taking it easy right now.
Oh yeah, if you can stick with Rucci around this track, you're doing something right. And I think he's just, like I said, I think he's just waiting for his time to pounce.
And we'll see if he can get it done here in the next chicane. I mean, if you're going to be that close to a driver in front of you, you're usually trying to get in his head. You're usually saying, hey, I'm right here. Look, don't mess up.
Look at him there. He's right there. He's basically, you can see the white of my eyes in your rearview mirror, dude. And Jeff, I don't know if, like, I would rather be the car behind, to be honest. Like,
oh, yeah. It's so nerve-wracking to be leading a road course race and you have somebody right there that just won't pass you. They're just kind of like intimidating you and getting in your head, and like, it forces you to mirror drive. They don't have to do it, you do.
Exactly, but I don't think Rucci gives any mind to Favignano. He's got his eyes locked forward. He's been hitting his marks, and he is still perfection to this point.
Yeah, look at Favignano. Watch this speed he's going to get here. And they also do have the draft that does help them somewhat in the Roval section of the track. And that's the reason why you'll see that 67 close in on him right here before the chicane, as they hit that draft before having to get in the brakes there. So that does help you, especially, man, yeah, it's been so close for so many laps now.
Oh, we got Alexander Reno, Isaiah Stevens, and Robert Webb. There's a pack of cars back there, Jeff. And Alexander Reno ran a little hot into a corner, and it backs up those four drivers. So we're going to see some action back here. We're down following P17, P16.
Yeah, and you can see those four cars. They have split up a little bit there after getting almost together in that last section. And they're going to get through the chicane, no problem. But it looks like Tony Wilson having some connection issues perhaps right there in the 76.
Tony Wilson had a very good race Monday, but not a very good connection on Thursday, apparently, because he finished, I believe he was P9 on Monday, so he had a great race. But yeah, he's having connection issues. Poor Tony.
Yeah, you don't like to see it. Back up front, we don't want to take our eyes off of this. There's a lot of racing on the track, and we want to make sure we cover it all for you. But man, I mean, these guys have been just going at it the entire time. There's no saving here.
Nope, there is not. And they still have damn near 19 laps to go before they can think about pitting to get to that halfway point. So there's still plenty of racing left, and those tires are definitely starting to go already. And yeah, these guys doing a heck of a job keeping the car underneath them.
We're going to go static here and let you listen to the sounds of the Roval. And these two just going at it non-stop, man. Wow. And they will put that driver down one lap. That was, I believe, Donovan Barber there. Going down one lap. But it hasn't changed at all. Still showing, you know, anywhere from a half a second to 0.6. But then they close it up again right there at the chicane. So it's been pretty much the same thing. And I'm watching here on the timing screen. I'm not seeing a whole lot across the board. You can watch back there with Dylan Macedo and Stefan Benende, but there's a pretty good gap between those two drivers even.
Yeah, I was watching them there, Jeff, during that slight static break, and they got really close to each other, but Macedo had a great exit speed out of the first chicane, and he was able to, after getting onto NASCAR, he was able to get some ground on Benende, but Benende's not going to go anywhere, and he's going to try and...
Ooh, that's scary.
My goodness.
Oh, that's scary.
My heart dropped there.
I know if it scared us, it definitely scared Stefan there.
You know, there's some short little four-letter words going through his mind there when that happened.
That's a guarantee. That was just a matter of, you know, just having just the difference in speed there between him and Donovan.
You can see he made some good ground here on Macedo, as Macedo didn't get the first corner perfect. So he's able to catch up to him here as we head into
that. Jumped down into first gear there.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was riding first gear around that corner. I haven't seen anybody else doing that. And he's doing it again right here. Ooh, that is such a slippery slope to mess with. That first gear around these corners here, but he's making it work for himself. Kind of. We've seen some interesting things out of drivers. I've seen guys even shifting down into third gear at places like Iowa before in the past. So it doesn't mean that that's the fastest way around the track, because if anybody knows how to get around, it would definitely be the guys out front, which is Matt Rucci and Leonard. And check these two out. Looks like Matt Rucci starting to pull away from Leonard there. Maybe Leonard using his tires up a little bit. That's a possibility. We'll watch back here. What's going on with Wes Graham? He's in fifth right now, and Ryan Steinhoff in sixth. So Steinhoff trying to get to the back bumper of him, as they're going to be looking to put Tyler Thomas in the 8 car down another lap.
Yeah. Wes and Steinhoff there on a bit of an island there, just trying to hit their marks as they try to catch up to Stefan Benende and Macedo, the next two drivers in front of them, but they are about 5 seconds away from that. And yeah, I'm looking back at some of the field here, Jeff. I'm seeing a lot of drivers getting loose out of corners already, and these guys are now starting to fight with these cars a bit.
Yeah, we knew that was going to be coming eventually. As you know, about 10 laps around the Roval is definitely going to change the way you have to drive the track on older tires. Even though it seems like it's not a lot, the Roval is pretty long, so it is a lot of racing. Especially, you know, with those lower gears and higher RPMs, you're going to be spinning tires and everything else, and that's what you don't want to do, because if you are doing that, you're dropping down into first gear, you're going to be spinning those tires more than likely, and that does eat them up fast. See right here, that was a big mistake by Favignano. He lost a lot of speed there in that chicane there. You can see these two where they're at now. So Rucci now with a 1.8 second lead, and that is climbing to almost a 2 second now.
So one driver to watch here, Jeff. I'm looking in the back of the field. We got Brandon Osborne working on Tony Wilson right now down in P16-17, but he has a new car, and so he's going to be pretty fast as he makes his way around Austin Johnson there. Johnson getting loose out of that corner. You saw how squirrely he got there.
And Robert Webb he's dropping down a couple positions there.
Oh, sorry, that's Robert Webb. Excuse me.
Yeah, in the 91.
Yeah. My apologies there, Robert Webb.
And Robert Keller, he is going to now have his hands full as the 80 car is there almost.
Oh, yeah. Look how much speed Osborne's coming in that corner, late braking. And we got a bit of a pile up here as that lap car is going to try and stay out of the way. Good job by them to let these guys go and keep racing. and we're going to watch Osborne do his best and work on that car of Robert Keller.
Keller not giving him too much room. I thought he was going to let him go there in that section, but he's not. He's fighting for that position. He has every right to. This is a battle between these two drivers for 14th.
Yeah. You want to pass me, man? Pass me, but I ain't giving it to you. That's what Keller's saying.
Yep.
Good on him. Woo, that's some tight racing though here, and we'll see if Osborne can get him as we head onto the NASCAR track on the oval. But I don't think he's got enough. It's going to be all the way into this first chicane. We're going to see who backs out. It's a game of chicken right now, and I bet you Bearder's going to drop here.
Ooh, it's going to be tight. Yeah. Bearder didn't give it up to Wilson there. He could have.
He could have.
Brandon made quick work of that one, and now he's going to start pulling away a little bit. But yeah, it was Wilson got loose right there coming out of the chicane there. He's got damage on the left rear of that car too.
He had a pretty bad entry there, Jeff. He was side by side with Bearder heading into that corner, so he had a very terrible exit there. That's why he lost some speed. But he's a fast driver. He'll get that back. But how about Rucci? Let's check in on him, Jeff.
He's doing really well here. He's increased that lead to almost 3 seconds now between him and Fodorero, and then it's a huge jump between Fodorero to Macedo. We're talking. From Fodorero there, you're looking at about 10 seconds, almost 11 seconds between those two.
Yeah, these two drivers are Tom Hanks in a league of their own, and they are doing that. There's no crying in NASCAR.
I meant to say 12, not 10. Math is hard.
Dude, I called Austin Johnson the wrong guy. We're doing our best here. Give us a break sometimes, guys.
And we have a little bit of a race here between Benende and Macedo, as Macedo has now made it to the back bumper of Macedo. We'll see if he can get around him here. Started 5th tonight, and now he's seen 3rd, but now he's in the 4th position, so he's fighting Stefan Benende for that position right now.
You see Benende ahead of him fighting with that car out of that corner. But Macedo doing an excellent job here on this infield and gets right up next to that bumper. So he's going to be looking to pass here pretty soon.
Yeah, probably right here getting onto the Roval. The oval section. I call it the Roval, but it's literally the oval.
We know what you mean. We know what
you know what I mean. And yeah, I don't see anybody out in front of them. As far as getting down into this corner here, yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's in the chicane right now. That's the weird thing you're seeing. You're seeing the split between the talent, attacking this course tonight. It's been pretty crazy that I didn't think that we would be 12 laps into this race and seeing, 20 seconds back to 5th place. That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy. Very, very crazy.
And that's the 22 of Reno. He's actually going to be going down a lap there. As he's the first car down 1 lap, so he will be eligible for the lucky dog if a caution flies.
I can't imagine a full course caution flying tonight. So if you go lap down,
Rucci in the grass. Wow.
And look at that time drop for Fodorero. He's now down to 3 seconds.
And see, that's what Fodorero wants to see. You want to see that guy out front making those mistakes at a road course like this. That's not something you worry about with a 1.5 mile race, because it's rare, guys are going to be getting off track into the grass and whatnot. But when you watch the real Roval races, it's insane. You make one mistake, it's road course racing. You're off in the grass. It can end your entire race.
What Rucci has going for him is, man, if Rucci is getting loose and causing mistakes, everybody else is. So if a robot can make mistakes, all the humans, the mere mortals, they could be making mistakes as well. But look at that. He's already got damn near 4 seconds ahead of Fodorero as he gets around Reno here. Ooh, a little close coming into the second chicane.
Yeah, Reno giving that position up quite easily. Did not even want to challenge for it. Said, here you go, Fodorero. I know you're much, much faster. He was just waiting for a perfect time to let him go, it looked like.
Yep, good on Reno. So on Monday, we only had about 5 cars on the lead lap there, Jeff, at the end of the race. A lot of people went laps down. So I expect a similar result tonight.
Yeah, we're seeing that happening right now back to 20th now, but we have 19 cars on lead lap right now. Last car on lead lap is that 44 of Isaiah Stevens, and then right in front of him is Aaron Beaver in the 97. What can you say about Aaron Beaver? He's been here for a very long time. He's been in the league since season 1, actually, and he's out here right now in 18th. Talk about, a driver that doesn't give up. He knows how difficult this race is coming into it, but he shows up to it and he turns laps. And that is fantastic.
Beaver having some connection issues the last few races. He's had some bad luck. And it looks like he's got his, I jinxed it, right?
You jinxed it. No.
Like, maybe he called his ISP up and gave him an earful, but LOL, that wasn't the case.
It was not. Ryan Steinhoff.
Poor Beaver.
We're starting to see that 88 come into the picture right now as he is trying to close the gap between himself and Steinhoff here. And what can you say about Wes Graham other than that he does know how to save tires at a road course? He's really good at it. He's got damage in the rear of that car, though. I don't know where that happened.
I don't think they'll be affecting him too much. He's still showing a lot of speed as he's trying to catch the 59 car of Steinhoff.
It is in this section, but when he gets out there on the oval section, I think that's really going to hurt him, especially. Yeah, that's a lot of damage in the back. It's got that spoiler pushed up in the air there quite a bit. And that's going to affect him. He's not going to get the same down. Well, yeah, he's getting more downforce out of it. It's kind of like that real life race that happened where they were not happy about it. It was Chase Elliott that had a missing panel on the back after an incident, and then it ended up adding more downforce, and all the other drivers were complaining about it because they wish they could have had it. It was almost reminiscent of an F1 deal where it's like, this is unfair. I should be able to get by this guy. Why can't I get by this guy?
Yeah, for sure, Jeff. Speaking of IRL NASCAR, is it the Clash this weekend?
This weekend, yes. The LA Coliseum.
What are your thoughts on that?
Very excited for it. I think it's going to be awesome. And, and anybody who says that it's going to be a wreck fest, et cetera, the original Clash is at Daytona, the home of the wreck fest. And in backup cars having to go there for the Clash and dealing with the absolute nonsense of that. So if they want to take some next-gen cars and go toss them around a quarter-mile track or fifth-mile track, whatever, I'm all for it. I think it's going to be a fantastic show. I'm definitely going to watch it. There's a lot of good things out of it. It's just gonna be a good, entertaining thing to watch.
Yeah, you know what? I always like it when leagues try new things and experiment and mix things up and try to keep it fresh and entertaining. And I'm excited to see how the new next gen car does. Very excited to see the debut of that. And I think Jeff, you were the one telling me that. I think they wanted to go to the class or to the LA Coliseum because a lot of teams only have one car. Is that right?
Yeah, a lot of teams. Well, you gotta have a backup car and all that stuff. But a lot of those guys were not excited about taking the next gen car there, the Gen 7 car. Now they weren't excited about bringing that to a short track and getting it all damaged and everything else. It's almost a guarantee at a short, tiny little Coliseum track like that. But it's also the same for Daytona. The Clash is going to happen regardless, and there's going to be crashes regardless. So I think it's kind of a moot point to argue that back and forth.
For sure. Yeah, I just wanted to see where your head was at, as you know more than I do about that. I'm going to be checking it out for the first time there. So
we are finding out about Wes Graham. We're finding out about the damage of Wes Graham there. Guzzi 317. Guzman that usually is racing, not racing here tonight, but said the 59 got into him on lap 1 is what happened to the 88. I guess we just didn't see that.
We must have missed it. I mean, there was a lot of action going on in lap 1 there,
oh man, the 8 car, that's not good at all there. Tyler Thomas there with a lot of damage on the nose of that car. Not sure what happened, but he lost the hood. I think he might have come down pit road and got that removed. I can't imagine that just flying off like that.
And some weight savings. Get rid of that extra weight.
Tyler Thomas started 18th. He's in 22nd right now, but a lot of damage there. That's not going to, I mean, it's not hurting anything right now, but I just don't know how it happened. Hard to say.
Well, Jeff, I got some news here from our pit reporter. I'm going to pull him now.
All right, fantastic. Let's hear. We're going to be expecting some green flag stops here shortly, I would imagine.
Yeah, Bugs, what do you got for us?
Well, I just had a chat with the team number 88 and the team 59, and it looks like the 88 is going to try to stretch his tires out as long as possible. He said probably somewhere between 25 and 30. He originally said lap 35, then realized he couldn't make it on fuel, so he's going to try to stretch it out. I'm assuming later on in the late 20s or early 30s on laps. I think he's really going to stretch it out. I asked as well for team number 59 of Ryan Steinhoff, and he responded with, I don't know. And he said, as the crow flies. And
Okay.
he is pretty much just going to try to mimic whatever Wes does. I don't know how he's going to do that as he's currently in front of him, but that was his response. And that's all I have right now for driver updates on pits. A lot of drivers don't have their radios easily accessible.
Yeah, fantastic. We deal with that all the time, so nothing new there.
Yep.
Oh, we got somebody spinning. That's Jason Lance.
Ooh. And Bugs, what do you think of the race so far?
It's been pretty good. You can see some drivers are definitely struggling. You saw Osborne right there in the first lap make a pretty big mistake that's still costing him some positions. But you know, he's a quick driver, so I'm sure he'll be able to work his way back up there. But it just goes to show that you can have all the skill out there on the track, but it's very easy to make a mistake here. You know, Lucci was in the grass a little bit there, and Osborne wrecked, and Steinhoff rear-ended Wes Graham, so it's a very tough track. I don't think it matters about skill. It's just about who can really hold it together for the duration of the race.
Which takes skill.
A lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll take skill, but also, like, you know, just because you put down a fast lap doesn't mean that you're just going to win this race.
That's
you gotta
right.
Be consistent. You got to do this 50 times.
It's almost like endurance racing. It doesn't matter what your fastest lap is. It's more about your average lap time.
Yes, that's very much so true. And this track can definitely catch you off guard at any turn.
Right on. Thanks, Bugs. We'll let you get back to your race control duties. Thanks for the update.
Yeah, I'm going to go get a hot dog. See you guys later.
All right, have
Okay.
fun. And right now, that's a 7-second difference between Fodorero and second to Matt Rucci. So waiting to see, maybe, you know, if anybody knows pit strategy, it's definitely going to be this guy. It's definitely going to be Matt Rucci. He knows when he wants to come. He's already got it in his head how many stops he's going to get on a green flag run. He's already got in his head what he's going to do if a caution comes out. So now he's got to make those decisions, but he can also stay out as long as he wants, because now that puts pressure on Fodorero to come down to pit road and do, you know, start the cycle of the green flag stops. So Fodorero probably might come down at least 2 laps before Rucci will, or it could even be earlier than that. I'm not really sure, but I think that would probably be the best idea to do, and get a perfect stop, get back out there and try to make up as much time as possible.
Absolutely. So update from the back of the field or middle of the field here, Jeff. Brandon Osborne in P9 has just passed James Hilton, and he is on a tear as he's made his way all the way back up to P9.
It's been a lot of fun to watch Brandon Osborne race, and I had a chat with him after Bristol and told him, you know, what a great job he did. And he's simply one of my favorites to watch on the track, because he's not afraid to be aggressive. And it's cost him in the past, you know, being aggressive in a move and then having damage to his car and whatnot. But we need this kind of thing in the league. We want to see guys that attack, you know, a driver in front of them the way that he does. There's so much personality behind the wheel of the 80.
Absolutely. He drives with a purpose, and that purpose is to win. And he is quickly catching Ryan Potter in front of him, as the interval between him is now about 3.4 seconds and quickly dropping. So it'll be a matter of time before he catches Ryan Potter and makes his way up into 8th place, if he can pass him.
Looking at the back of Ryan Potter's Toyota right now, and we can see that 80 car starting to show its himself in the camera. There he is right there, exiting that final corner onto the oval. And it's starting to close in. They're 49-52 right now. Let's see, 48-52. So if he's making up any of his spots, it's definitely going to be in this chicane right here. And look at this. Look at him coming to that chicane right there. So, yeah. I'd say so.
Cue the Jaws theme music because that he's on his way.
I want to ride on board with him here. We got to see just how his inputs in the wheel and how he's getting this car around here right now, because it is bad fast right now.
Yeah, I've noticed that with these guys that are really good at road tracks is their ability to late brake on these chicanes and just carry so much speed through it while keeping the car under control. That's what really separates them from the rest of the drivers that are being a little more timid and safe and just trying to keep it safe around the corners. And you can see that right now as he is quickly.
He's dropping down to first gear right there in that section as well.
Well, there you go.
So some of these guys, I think somebody figured it out before the other. They're like, hey, you know what? You can drop down to first and get a lot more speed out of the car. It's interesting to see him doing that. I mean, that shows you right there that he's not saving anything right now.
No, absolutely not. He is trying to get as many positions back as he can before these cars come in for their tire change and splash of fuel.
I want to show you this. This is the driver's view. We don't normally show you this, but this is what they see. This is the FOV and everything. So you can just see how different it is for a driver with a visor cam like this. And wow, I mean, after the road course racing I've done in the past, this is insane to watch right now. I mean, this is almost Rucci bot level.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of neat. It's like watching those F1 races where Lewis Hamilton would be at the back of the field, but somehow miraculously make his way up to second. Ooh, they were having some. Was that a car into the wall?
Yeah, there's a couple cars there.
The
yeah, the 32 of Donovan Barber, he has damage all over that Ford. And then that was Jason Lance that was having some issues there as well. It looks like he got back up to speed, no problem. But Matt Rucci trying to get around all of that nonsense, and he was able to do it cleanly.
Matt Rucci still running 127s in that car, which is pretty impressive at this point in the race on those tires. I can't believe that.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. 127s. Wow. I mean, considering his what was his time for the pole was a 122.9. Absolutely insane. And then, so he's a 127.793 on the last one there. Brandon Osborne's a 128 flat, so he's not far off. But Leonard Fodorero, he's a 129, so he's almost a 130 was his last lap there. So having some struggles for sure. The fastest one in the last few laps, almost damn near the same, was the 88 of Wes Graham. Yeah, so he had a 127.735 that last lap compared to the 793. So 735 to a 793 is the difference between Wes and Rucci. So Rucci's still the fastest car, or sorry, not the fastest car on the track right now. Wes Graham is.
Oh, look at that. Osborne passed Potter. I just see Osborne's in P7 now. Unbelievable.
Wow.
And he's going to be working on Joel Brown now. Like he is just cruising his way through the field. And one thing to know, Osborne is on a slightly fresher tires. He has about a 2-lap advantage on his tires. These guys have done 23, 24 laps. He's done 21 laps on those tires after that first fast repair and crash. He had to come down. But what an effort to get his way not only into the back into the top 10, but now he's in the top 7 with no sign of slowing down.
No, and we're going to watch Brandon Osborne as he is almost to the back bumper of Joel Brown right now. This is the difference between these two drivers getting through that last chicane or that back stretch chicane before they come to the final one.
You just watch how much ground he's going to make up on this late braking here. He's going to get, it's right. Look at this. Puts it in there. See you later, Coors. Enjoy your cold beer, but Ford Performance coming through.
And you can see that damage on the right side of his car, so he has been just hanging it out there as fast as possible, even though he had to come down pit road early on in the race and use that fast repair because he had damage to, I believe, it was something to do with the drive shaft or something was broken on it. After that first spin, he had hit the wall, the inside wall. It looked like he had saved it, but he actually did end up hitting it, and it damaged the car. He had to come down pit road for that reason.
But how about Joel Brown? P7, sticking it in there, keeping it going, keeping it straight, minimizing these mistakes, and that's a great effort by Joel Brown to keep this car moving forward.
He's been hovering around the 8th, 7th, and 6th position. Hasn't really changed from there, but there's a lot in this race. We just now got to the halfway point, so now guys will be making those decisions to come down pit road, and that looked like that was Donovan there smoking the tires on that 32 getting into that chicane on the backstretch. A lot of damage to that car as he's going to let the 80 of Osborne by. No problem. Out front, Matt Rucci still hanging it out there. Anybody coming down pit road yet? Doesn't look like
Leonard
it.
Fodorero just leaving pit lane now.
Okay, so Fodorero came down pit road during that time we were checking everything out there. Sorry about that. So
that's okay. I got my eye on pit road now for you.
Gotcha. That's what I was wondering, because this is exactly what I said. If you're in his position, you need to come down pit road at least a few laps before Rucci makes the decision. You want Rucci to screw up on pit road so you gain.
A little undercut play maybe. We'll see. Brian Potter coming down to pit road now. And if we get a little more action on pit road, maybe we'll go to our pit road reporter in a little bit.
Yeah, the 89 of James Hilton is in as well.
Robert Webb back there.
You've seen those guys making their green flag stops. Rucci still has not come down pit road yet, but we will watch to see when that does happen. I'm sure it will be coming soon.
But if he's doing what Wes is doing, where he's like, I'm just going to stretch these tires as long as they can go, I could see him going 27, 28, 20, 29 laps. I could see a few more laps out of Rucci yet.
Rucci making a mistake right there, almost put it into the grass. He's dealing with those old tires, and you can see the car getting sideways through the up and downhill sections there in the infield, and now he's going to come out here to the oval. I think he's done. I think he's going to be coming down to pit road next time by. I don't see it. You get to a certain point where if you stay out longer, you're actually losing time.
Definitely. Yeah, we got Stefan Benendi leaving the pit road now, and it's just a question of when is Rucci bot making the call?
Dylan Macedo into 127 right there. So he's the fastest car on the track right now. Dylan Macedo is. Right there in the 7th position. But we don't want to keep our eyes off the 28 and when he's going to come down pit road, which here it is right now. Let's see if we can get Bugs so we can find out what's going on down there.
Let's go get Bugs. Hey, Bugs, we're seeing some action down in pit road. You got a copy?
Yep, I got a copy.
What's happening?
It looks like some people are pitting.
Good talk.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The 28's finally coming down to pit. Wes Graham still has not come down to pit either. A couple cars on the back pitting, but looks like Rucci's going to be the first leader to come down to pit. I don't know if Wes is going to try to keep his strategy out or if Rucci coming down pit lane. It looks like Wes actually just passed up pit lane. So Fodorero, Rucci, Fodorero, Wes Graham, and Steinhoff looks like they're staying out this time.
And here's the gap right here. You got Ryan Steinhoff and Fodorero going at it. Matt Rucci now into the first turn there. Or sorry, it's the second turn. And here they come down right now. So that is the gap between the two. And Fodorero's going to make quick work, it looks like, of Steinhoff and get around him, no problem. And Graham's still out there in fourth.
Well, I'm sure a lot of drivers heard the leader is pitting now from their crew chiefs. So I expect a lot more people to be coming down soon. Brandon Osborne in the pits.
Down the pit.
Yep.
I'm watching right here with the gap between the 67 and the 28 right now and back to the 59 right now, but that looks like it kind of worked out. But yeah, Osborne back on pit road again. And he is not going to get any of that damage taken care of on the right side of the car. He's going to say, nope, we're good on that. We're getting back out on the track.
We'll see what he can do if he can make his way up to Andrew Ewing in that 15 car. But Rucci, Rucci bot reactivated on fresh tires, and he's going to be very fast.
Yeah, now that he's got those freshies on, we're going to see what his actual time is going to be next time by. Andrew Ewing jumping up to the 7th position after we talked about this driver having, an interesting season. Jumped up a bunch of lost a bunch of points there in that last race. But right now showing a good run in P7 right now.
Yeah, good drive by Andrew here. And he is still on those old tires, so he still has yet to pit.
We'll Steinhoff down in the pits now.
So Steinhoff finally, as the crow flies, or whatever he said there, coming down pit road to try to get new tires.
Before Wes Graham, so I guess he changed his strategy yet again.
Yep, because Wes is still out there, and he has not pit yet.
Looks like Nick Sargent coming down to pit as well.
Right, Nick Sargent coming down there. And yeah, some of these guys got a little bit of damage on the car. Nothing too bad there on the nose, right there.
If I had to guess, I would believe Wes Graham would be coming down to it pretty soon. He's got to be seeing these other drivers getting their tires. He already knows Rucci came in. He knows Steinhoff just came in, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him come down this time.
This could work out for him, though. If he keeps going on these tires, he'll have fresher tires and where it counts at the end of the race. So not a bad strategy.
That's kind of what it seemed like he was going for. It seems like he wants that second half speed. So let's see if it works out for him. Actually, he's coming down to pit right now.
Yeah, we're watching that 88 coming down pit road right now to get his car serviced under green. And now it gets down to that whole thing where you have only one fast repair. Do you use it right now to repair your car, or do you wait for that late race caution?
I say use it.
I'd be using it. I didn't use mine. I'd be using it because I can't imagine a full race caution happening. It's more of just if you can just keep your car clean and avoid any big wrecks, which everyone's been managing to do. So I think you take it.
So there he goes right there. That's going to give that position up.
It looks like he took it.
Yes, he did indeed. I think, yeah, that car is looking fantastic in the back now. Yep, there you go. It's time to go for the 88 now. No messing around. Fodorero, we're going to go on board with him to see where he's at compared to Rucci. And let's see the difference now, because Matt Rucci's last lap was not shown. It was showing us a 52nd lap, which has got to be insanely wrong. I mean, he's Rucci bot, but he's not that fast. There he is right there. So he's a 124.595. And Leonard is a 125.335 there, but the last one was a 124. It was actually quicker. So Leonard, not consistent right now, but he has been the fastest in these last 3 laps. So we're going to keep an eye on him for sure. That he's bad fast. But then Stefan Benende with the 125 flat. So he's faster than Fodorero, but it's going to be hard to get back in those 124s, and that's where Rucci is right now.
All right.
Not getting a caution. This has been a caution-free race so far, which is fantastic. We love to see that. And that's usually kind of how road course racing goes anyway.
Definitely. Osborne just passed Andrew Ewing for P7, and he is on a tear. Thanks to Bugs for pit reporting as he just left before we say thank you, but thank you,
There's
Bugs.
that damage on that right. He's got more damage on that 80 car now.
It's not affecting him, though. Like,
no, not at all.
He is still cruising.
Yeah, you can see it here on the nose. On the right side there, that's where that damage is on the 80 car. But yeah, it's not slowing him down. I don't think he has any rubbing or any problems there.
So he is about, let's see the time on screen here. He's about 9 seconds off of Wes Graham. And we'll be paying attention to that. But mind you, Wes is on fresh tires. So we'll see if Wes can keep his position in P6 or will Osborne catch up to him. Who knows?
So we've seen green flag stops now. We're going to go back to static, and we'll be right back. Always a lot of fun to watch them. And that was a cool shot there of Rucci getting into the chicane on the backstretch. And we're keeping an eye on Graham right now. He's got speed in the car. 124.775 has been his best today, and that was his last lap. So he's absolutely cruising right now, trying to catch up to Ryan Steinhoff, which was a 125 flat that last time by, right in front of him there. So there is a difference there, but Wes Graham, the fastest he's been all day.
Yes, sir, and I think Steinhoff is actually catching Dylan Macedo ahead of him, so we're going to see some pretty close racing here up near the front in 4th, 5th, and 6th position. And Steinhoff only about half a second behind Dylan Macedo as they enter the second chicane, and we'll see if he can keep working his way up to that rear bumper.
And that's going to be Graham right there in the picture between these three. So this is for the 4th, 5th, and 6th position. So Ryan Steinhoff trying to get that 4th position away, but Graham is definitely feeling a little bit of pressure from that 80 car because he's right behind him right here, actually, on the other side of that set of corners. He still has a lot of room to make up there. And then it's Ryan Potter behind him. Then you see Joel Brown, which is now getting to the start-finish line to 9th. And then Nick Sargent, that yellow car right there, behind Foddereros. He's going down a lap. So right now, the way it's shaken out here is there's only 8 cars on the lead lap because a lot of guys are still staying out, trying to stretch it as long as possible. And the last car on the lead lap is Ryan Potter. So the first one is Joel Brown, down 1 lap, and he will have the lucky dog if a caution comes out. And I think that's what he's banking on right now.
Jeff, we got some action brewing here with Steinhoff and Macedo. He was right on his bumper. He is caught up to him in these chicanes, and it is getting close. And Wes Graham in the mix as well. This is going to be our closest battle on track right now. So let's stick with these guys and see if Steinhoff can capitalize on any mistakes. But look at the ground he made up. Same with Wes. We got ourselves a 3-car battle here. Great job there by Steinhoff working on Macedo as he's going to try and dart it to the inside. Macedo leaving him a bit of room. They're going to be side by side. Woo! Macedo holds him off. I don't know how long he can defend this for, Jeff.
Yeah, this is going to come down to, hey, we just came down pit road. Do we really want to be racing this hard for these positions? Yes, you do, because you're running out of time. It's lap 34 now. So you only have 50 laps around here, and we're well past the halfway mark. So it's time to go. I don't think any of these guys are banking on a caution here. So they're not giving up an inch.
This is the time to race. The time is now. And you see Steinhoff trying any little advantage he can make.
Macedo missed the corner. Wow.
Macedo going to be slowing down here to take a off-track slowdown penalty. Disaster for the 25 car there as he just overcooked it into that chicane. And Steinhoff and Graham waved themselves by.
Yeah, it goes to show that you've got to be perfect around this Roval. And Macedo made one mistake, which he was mirror driving. You know, he was in front of 2 cars that are for position right behind him, real close. it forces him into a mirror driving position. And when you're mirror driving, it's really easy to miss your braking zone.
I have an update about that Macedo and Steinhoff situation. So it was actually Steinhoff got into the rear of Macedo going into that brake zone in that chicane. Gave him a little bump, but Macedo decided, you know what, I'm not going to make this corner. I'm just going to go through, and unfortunately got the corner cutting penalty. So,
damn.
Well, there you go.
Well,
so
thanks for that update, Bugs. We didn't see that. We didn't see the contact, so thanks for the update.
Yep, I'm the eye in the sky. Anytime you need me.
Bugs flying around in the God mode blip up there. Good,
yep.
God mode blip.
Just hanging out, watching. I think someone just brought me my giant cotton candy, so I'll see you guys later.
All right, enjoy.
So there you go, a little bit of a little contact between the 59 and the 25 there in the chicane. You can see the damage on the nose of the 59. So yeah, there was contact there for sure. You can see the scratch and the lift on the actual hood there.
I'm not sure if Macedo came down in the pit or not. I believe he did. He is now showing P13. So I believe Macedo came down to pit road to get some of that damage repaired.
We would go back and show it to you in a replay, but we're so many laps ahead and we have so much happening on the track in such a short amount of time. If we had a caution, it'd be different. But I do want to explain the reason why we aren't showing that, because we would have to actually rewind the live action you're seeing right now in order to see a small bump. But we know what happened there. I'm sure it was a mistake. I doubt there was any ill will happening there. It was just hard racing between those three. And when you have those three drivers like that in a chicane, anything can happen, and we saw it.
But Wes Graham might be paying a little retribution for the 25 car, because he is actually really close to him. That's going to be our closest battle on track right now, Jeff. As we're watching these two drivers battle it out, and can Steinhoff defend against the machine that is Weston S. Graham, as we're riding on board with Wes right now. We'll see if he can late break into this.
I think he will, and you saw in that whole section back there when they were up the hill, down the hill there, Wes was in first gear, so he's in first right here. We're seeing these guys really, really getting aggressive with the gearing around the track right now because they know it's time to go. So, you know, maybe that call of, hey, we shouldn't be using first gear is incorrect, and I stand corrected by that, because a lot of these drivers have shown that they can drive in first gear around a lot of these corners to try to get everything they can out of the car. It's at a risk, yes, but they know what they're doing.
You and me both. I'm actually really surprised they're going into first gear. It shows how much we know. Apparently they know more than us, and it shows, because they're cruising around this track as they make their way around. I believe that was Alex Reno there.
Yeah, watch here. Wes is going to jump down into first gear into this corner right here. And then he's going to ride first. He's going to get all the way through his gears. But when he gets to this next section, last time he was just riding around in first gear on it, and you could hear how high those RPMs were. I'll probably do it again here, I'd imagine. Yep, there's first gear. And just listen to how he gets through this right here in first gear the whole time.
Might utilize some of that engine braking that first gear.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Yeah, he's not having to touch the brakes at all.
Yeah, smart move.
Really good racing.
Steinhoff not slow, and he's keeping that gap between them. It got very, very close there. But this is a tight battle here for podium position. Or no, sorry, P4.
Watching that Ace Pool Repair Chevy try to keep the 88 at bay, but out front, still been the show all day. The 28 of Matt Rucci. Just what can you say? Fantastic driver. Always seems to put it all together. He knows how to win races.
Oh yeah, he's on autopilot right now. Rucci bought engaged autopilot, and he's just cruising his way to the end of this race.
And we're on board with Fodorero. Interested to see the difference between how Wes was and how these guys are getting around the track. We'll see if he's using first gear, and he is right here. So yeah, a lot of these guys using that engine braking. So early on in the race, we saw them not getting into first gear at all. That was to save tires. That was to save everything and take it easy early on. But you can tell that the pace has really, really picked up between these drivers, because now we're seeing a lot more action when it comes to how they're getting around. So let's see how Rucci gets through this section compared to Wes Graham. He drops it down into first gear. He's staying in second right there. And then he's going to come up here to this section now. Does he drop into first gear? I don't think he is. I think that maybe Rucci... Nope, there's first gear right there. Okay, now does he ride around this left-hander here in first? Yes. Yes, so he did. The only difference is that he's not taking that middle section there in first gear. He's taking that in second, but that last set of corners, he is dropping down into first.
Keeping a close eye here on that battle of P4, and Wes is on the rear bumper of Steinhoff right now. It is getting pretty close here, and he's trying to get into the head of the 59. He's pool
sideways.
Ooh, he's getting close.
Look out the back of the 59 of Steinhoff here, and Wes Graham is definitely there. I think he's just trying to set him up on the next set of corners here.
I think where Wes is going to get him is in those chicanes. He's able to late brake, and that's where I've been watching them. He's been able to gain so much ground on Steinhoff. Steinhoff doing a very, very good job here in the infield to maintain some great pace and great speed, but this is where Wes shines. It's going to be this late braking into this first chicane.
Yeah, and this is where he's going to be using that draft to get down into the corner. Now he is going to force Steinhoff into a mirror driving situation. Man, they're so even getting out of the chicane there. You can even hear just the change in the gearing is like identical.
We'll see if he can do it here in the second chicane. Oh yeah, he's definitely trying. Obviously he doesn't want to wreck Steinhoff either, so he's not being too aggressive in his marks there. He's sticking right with him. Great battle here. Great driving for P4.
I want to see how he's wheeling this thing around this track at this time, because man, this is the section of the course where it really gets light in the rear end.
I wish I was light in the rear end.
Look at the wheel movement right there, especially off the corner. Now, this is where he's going to drop down into first gear. I want to see how much he's wheeling it here, because I can guarantee you this is not easy to do. Wants to break loose on you there. Now he's in second gear there, so he is taking it a little easy. There's a little, we're going to be real oversteer here. No, he's got good control there. Man, it's so close between these two.
It really just comes down to who's going to make a mistake, and so far neither of them have made any major mistakes, so it's just a battle of attrition right now. Who can keep focused, keep their head in the game, and try to be perfection around this incredibly tough track. I can't tell you know that corner that you go kind of go.
Oh, here he goes.
Oh, here he goes. Never mind. Woo!
He's going to make that move here on the 59. The last set of corners. And that worked out for him. So Graham will take that position from Steinhoff, and that will update when they get to the line, of course.
Oh man, just like that. Like
so
one small mistake and he's in P4. Good job, Wes.
Nicely done there. That was interesting. And Steinhoff's still there. So he's not giving up yet. It's not like you know somebody just sails by you. I think what happened there was Steinhoff probably made a mistake in the final chicane there, and Wes was able to capitalize on it easily.
You can't replay, but I can. I'm gonna go have another look at it, and I'll see what happened there for Steinhoff.
Sounds good. We're watching the 28. As we are now 9 laps to go here at the Roval. And we've seen Rucci getting really, really out of shape in this section right here. Right when he makes this right-hand corner, he's been driving it out to the edge there. He's taking a little conservative there, or a conservative approach to that corner, because before he was really letting it all hang out almost into the grass. And it almost cost him to spin, so I think he's reeling that in, and he knows he has a 19-second lead on Favignano, so why chance it? So we're going to go through the field for you here. We've got the 67 of Favignano in second right now. A fantastic day for him, second, and he's in second right now. He's been down to fifth. And then behind him, Facebook dad himself, you got Stefan Benende. He started fourth, and he's up to third right now. So a great drive by that 73. And then behind him, Wes Graham. We just saw him making that move on Ryan Steinhoff. Started seventh today, and now he's in fourth. Behind him, you've got Ryan Steinhoff, started in sixth. He's been up to third, but right now he's just hanging out in fifth. So a top 5 run for that driver. And then behind him, Brandon Osborne having that issue early on in the race. Had to come down pit road and get the car repaired. Now he has that damage on the right front. Doesn't seem to be hurting him too bad, but he's in sixth right now after starting third. So we'll see how that plays out for him in the next few laps. Ryan Potter started 10th, and he's been up to 7th, and that's pretty much where he's been all day. Andrew Ewing behind him in the 15 car started 20th. What an incredible run by that driver after losing those 11 points last week. Here he is right now gaining points as it stands right now, starting 20th, and now he's in 7th. He's in 8th. So a fantastic run for Andrew Ewing. And Joel Brown starting 8th tonight. He's in 9th. Hasn't had a whole lot more speed than Nick Sargent. They've been pretty much the same, as Nick Sargent started 11th, and he's been up to 8th, but shows himself in the top 10 right now. So that is your top 10 as they run. Been an interesting one so far, but Matt Rucci's been the one to watch, and he's been incredibly fast.
Yeah, he's pretty much untouchable right now. 21 seconds ahead. Just as I said that, he takes a very aggressive.
He hit those turtles so
I
hard.
gotta shut up. I'm just jinxing these guys. But Jeff, I replayed that Steinhoff Graham pass there, and it looked like Steinhoff took the first chicane left-hand turn too wide and lost a lot of time and a lot of exit speed, and that's where Wes was able to capitalize. But he's not going anywhere just yet. He's just about a second behind Wes there. So we'll see if he can stick with Wes and try to get that position back.
Well, if you're the 88 right now, you want a caution. If you want your shot, you worked all day to get where you're at. You want that late race caution so you get a shot at the leader. Because as it stands right now, I just don't. If this thing goes green to the end, it's going to be really hard to beat Rucci or Fodorero, unless they make mistakes, and that certainly can happen.
Yeah, Rucci, Fodorero, they're going to be tough to catch. I think right now I'm paying attention to the timing screen of Brandon Osborne. I'm seeing if he can make any ground on Brian Steinhoff. He was 7 seconds behind. Now he's showing about 6.5. So he's slowly trying to chip away here. I just don't know if he has enough race left to catch those two drivers in front of him. But you can't say enough. What an incredible drive by him to get to where he is right now.
And we're watching from the blimp view right now, so we can see if the 59 does show up in a shot here, but it doesn't seem like that is the case. So he still has his hands full quite a bit. And man, he really threw that thing down into turn 1.
He gained about half a second by doing that. He's only about 6.2 seconds behind Ryan Steinhoff. Great drive by Osborne. But that's the story so far. It looks like everyone is kind of where they're at right now. Closest drivers on track are going to be Steinhoff and Graham with 1 second between them. But other than that, everyone is kind of just in their own world right now.
Yeah, and just an incredible drive by Osborne. I mean, it's like I said, he's real fun to watch race, and I think he might be in a better position if a caution comes out. He would be one to contend for sure. And Rucci's still getting through that set of corners there really cleanly.
Only 6 drivers on the lead lap now as we're headed into the final tail end section of this race. Final 5 laps here this time by.
And completing lap 44.
It just shows you how fast these guys are. They're putting so many cars laps down.
Oh yeah, they're stupid fast. I mean, we're looking at Rucci right now, and he's still turning 125.7 right now. compared to Fodorero in the 127 there. Wes Graham 126. And then the fastest we've seen, well, I mean, Rucci's the fastest car on the track right now. The second fastest would be Brandon Osborne with a 126.6. And Wes is a 126.8. Although Stefan Benende is not showing a time for me, a correct one at least.
And just to reiterate, if you don't know, these cars are all the same. This is a fixed setup race, so there is no change between the cars really, but besides some very simple steering ratio, brake bias. These are pretty much identical cars, so what you're seeing is just driver skill out there right now. There's no advantage for different setups or people paying for setups or whatnot. It's basically a spec race here.
And that's a lot of the reason why, leagues tend to stick with the fixed setups, because you've done open racing, I've done open setup racing. It's a total different world, and it is a pay to win sometimes. I mean, you do have to have your talent, of course, but there is an unfair advantage for guys that want to pay for professional setups versus guys who are like, I'll just use whatever and then just tweak on it. There's such a gray area with all of that, and when you have a fixed setup, everybody is on the same thing, and it's easier to be like, okay, that guy deserved to win. He was the fastest driver. It's not like you have the fastest car of the day. You are the fastest driver with the same setup.
Yeah, I much prefer fixed setup. I'm like you, Jeff. I don't have the time to go test a car or set up around a track for hours and hours and tweak things and see what feels better. I don't have the time to do that, so I much prefer just fixed setup, everybody on the same car, same stuff, and let's just go racing.
Yeah, in a typical week, we would race on Thursdays in the NIS series, in the Open series, and we would do Monday night testing, and then we would start with the start working on the setup there, and then by Tuesday usually had the setup where we were okay with it, and then Wednesday and then Thursday was race day, but we would usually just kind of go our own ways, and then I would show up a couple hours before the race, and then we would do final tweaks to it. And sometimes you miss because the track temperature would change or what, because these are dynamic tracks, and then you go out there and be like, oh, it's terrible, or hey, it's perfect, whatever. But there's so much time that goes into the open set.
Looks like Wes having to deal with a bit of lap traffic right now, and Steinhoff is loving that because he is quickly regaining his spot here. Sorry to
you're fine.
The mood, but no. Man, yeah, this is mixing it up a bit for the 59 car and the 88 car, as Wes is dealing with a bit of traffic. James Hilton and I believe that's Isaiah Stevens in the Crunchmobile.
Yep, that'll be Isaiah Stevens up there, and Wes going to the bottom of the track there to get around him. And we'll see how, look at the difference here. James Hilton just right there, a lot slower than Steinhoff, and Steinhoff has to be patient to get around that 89, and he's going to go to the outside of him and the 44 of Isaiah Stevens.
Good job there by both those lap drivers to maintain pace, but then give these guys room to race because they know that they are racing for position. And Steinhoff with a nice break point there, hits his markers, very nicely done. But same with Wes Graham. I'm amazed how well these guys are putting the power down on the track, and these cars are, I can't believe it.
It's really impressive.
A good job. Yeah.
Matt Rucci finishing lap 47, coming here to take 48. So it'll be 2 to go at the line. And 2 laps around the Roval. That's still a long way. 6 cars on the lead lap right now after that green flag stop. No one could really get back on it. Osborne there with a solid minute. A minute 6 behind. A minute behind. Wow. The leader. That's insane.
Yeah, I'm not sure Osborne's got enough time left. He is slowly chipping away at the gap between him and Steinhoff. I just don't think there's enough race left for him to do so unless something crazy happens, unless Steinhoff and Graham start racing, which they are. So who knows? We could get some spicy meatball action in the last couple laps here.
Fodorero in second. It seems like we're not talking a lot about Favignano. That's just because he's been sitting there doing what he needs to do to finish this race out in the second position. He knows he doesn't have anything for Rucci, but he just needs to keep his eyes between him and Venende, and that's not going to be hard to do because that's almost another 20-something seconds back between those drivers.
It is getting very tight between Graham and Steinhoff right now. Yeah, he just gained about half a second. He's right on him. Wes made a couple mistakes there. Mental fatigue might be setting in on the 88 car. We'll see if he can hold off. But Steinhoff is hungry and he wants that position back. So this is our closest battle on track.
And it's definitely fun to watch these two drivers trying to manage this track of all tracks and then race each other. You know, there's times where drivers will say, hey, I feel like I wasn't racing. I feel like I was just trying to survive. And then you put two cars next to each other and they're racing for the same spot. Well, now you've got that mentality of I'm trying to survive, but on top of that, I'm racing this guy. I'm not giving up. It's late in the race. Only going to be one to go here shortly.
Wes had a beautiful exit there onto the NASCAR track, able to keep his ground and keep Steinhoff at bay. Nicely done there. Yeah, Wes made a mistake on the previous lap, which is what made Steinhoff catch him so quickly. So if Wes can just keep it clean, we're white flag this time by. One lap to go.
Gonna be one to go here soon. Not yet.
Or soon. Sorry, excuse me.
We're about to be right now because Matt Rucci is coming to the line now for the white flag.
I'm too excited. I'm tired. I want this race to end.
White flag in the air. It's one to go here at the Roval.
There we go.
And we're going to keep an eye on Ryan Steinhoff and Graham. They know they have one to go here, so this is the time to make it up. Every single position counts as a point, and this is a points race. They don't have a playoff format they deal with. They have to be fast and get those positions on their own. It's not given to them at all.
Again, Wes with a nice exit speed there onto the NASCAR track. He's going to might be dealing with some lap traffic here though shortly. I believe that's I want to see, is that who is that?
That's the 21 car of Austin Johnson. Yes.
Okay.
All right, Matt Rucci. We're going to look from the top of our tower, and there he is on that backstretch. Let's see how he's able to get through these last corners here and put this one away after a dominant race and almost put it in the wall when he got in the grass a little aggressively there, but he pulled it back a little bit, but he's just been absolutely insanely fast today. Goes to show what kind of driver you're dealing with. Matt Rucci going to take the win here at the Roval tonight for the Queen City 115. And we're watching this final battle happening back here between Graham and Steinhoff. This is going to be interesting. They're almost getting to the oval section, so you can see the stark difference between the two. Yeah, the 59 getting sideways there.
Ooh, they're both getting a little sideways there. Good job by them. They know this is it. They're leaving it all out on the track, and this could get interesting. But Wes just is so fast on the NASCAR there. I can't, it's crazy.
There he is on the left. And you see that gap right there. Oh, it's close.
Wes did not hit that perfectly.
He did not. He's going to have to deal with the 59 possibly in this last chicane. This is the time for the 59 to send it. He doesn't want to get into Wes here. Oh, and he locks it up and gets in the grass. That was
good try.
Good run there by Wes Graham. He'll take fourth. So Rucci, Favignano, Venende, and Graham. What an incredible race that was. We went no cautions. Caution-free tonight. But your man, Matt Rucci, is going to take the win, and he absolutely deserved it. He led every single lap you saw.
Great drive by all these drivers. Really good racing as he hits a blue cone there, and he's going to burn it down. What a win. Just in untouchable perfection. I don't know what else to say about Rucci Bot. He's hacking, I think. He's a robot. He's got the algorithms on lock. Well done.
Can't get rid of that white dot for whatever reason. Not sure what happened there. I think I forgot to click the finish trigger.
Yeah. Still in the air.
That's my fault. I forgot to turn the finish trigger on, I think. I have to do that after qualifying every time.
I think it's because there's still more drivers on their last lap. Like, there's drivers that are
That's
2 laps
true.
down.
You might be right about that. It's still showing. No, not anymore so much. But there you go. Matt Rucci, what an incredible drive. As he was celebrating right there. We'll show you the results of everybody else here. And what an incredible run that was by the 28. Wow, 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 wee. Amazing stuff. All right, let's see if we can hide that now. Nope, still doesn't want to. That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Matt Rucci, your winner. What an incredible run. Led every lap after winning the pole tonight. Leonard Fodorero in second, Stefan Benende, and then Wes Graham in fourth. Fifth to Ryan Steinhoff, sixth to Brandon Osborne, seventh goes to Andrew Ewing. Then we have Ryan Potter, Dylan Macedo, and Joel Brown. In 11th, had Nick Sargent. James Hilton there in 12th. 13th was Tony Wilson after starting 24th. Finds himself in the 13th position. That's 11 gained on that. Aaron Beaver, 26th, and he finishes out in 14th as well. So another great run happening there for the 97. Robert Kellert in 15th, 16th to Austin Johnston. And then we have the 17th position to Isaiah Stevens. 18th to Alex Reno. 19th to Robert Webb. And then Jason Lance with the top 20 happening right there. And then Tyler Thomas finishing out in 21st. 22nd to Donovan Barber. 23rd to Connor Skinner. And then everybody else did not show up or complete or lead any laps or drive any laps or whatever. So there you go. I don't know how that worked. It's showing that Brandon Buggs started 19th and ends 24th. That's not right, folks.
Race control. Yeah, race control shows up, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's okay. Not a big deal.
I mean, is it any different to the rest of his season, though? Oh, burn!
Oh man.
Burn!
There you go. There you go.
There he is.
Oh, man.
I just burned you. Did you hear that?
Oh, we heard it. It was fantastic.
I heard that all the way down here in the pits. It was broadcasted over the entire stadium.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure it was.
Really appreciate the kind words.
You're welcome. Love you.
All right, let's head over to the race control lobby because everybody's hanging out in the lobby for whatever reason. Okay. All right. What a fantastic finish tonight here at the Roval. I know it was a difficult track. And Rucci, you win the race, won, so congratulations on that. But you led every single lap tonight, and it looked like only one mistake where you almost got in the grass a little bit on the left-hand side. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a scary moment, but these tracks, they don't have cautions really. You know, iRacing doesn't have cautions for races, so it's really just being consistent, just, hitting your marks really just 50 times, but it's easier said than done. But man, the tires and the track temp really made this a challenge. Sliding around a lot, and it was really hard getting on the throttle. So yeah, I hope it was fun to watch.
Fantastic. There you go. Led every single lap tonight. Rucci Bot was absolutely turned on and in full force. One driver I do want to catch up to, what an incredible run tonight. Definitely flew under the radar, was Andrew Ewing in the 15 car. You started 20th, and you actually pulled off a top 10 here at the Roval of all places. Tell us how that happened.
Man, it wasn't easy. That's a tough combination for sure. Lots of practice, albeit I wasn't out for Monday. It's hard getting out for the 2 nights, to be honest. But no, practice and consistency was what I was aiming for. So that's what got me there, and good luck.
There you go. 20th is where he started and finishes 7th of all places. Brandon Osborne coming with that all that momentum out of Bristol, and you had an up and down race. Tell us about that beginning, a little kerfuffle, and then you bounced back, and you're in a top 10 position and finishing out in P6.
Yeah, not where I wanted to be at all. Just kind of blew the start there. Didn't see the brake marker and trying not to wreck everyone. So yeah, it sucked for me, but I had it coming, I guess. And yeah, pushed it up to 6th. Not where I wanted to be though, but it was fun trying to wrangle this car around here, and I'll look forward to next week.
Fantastic. We noticed there was a little bit of a damage to the right front of the car after that second stop. What happened there?
I think after a few laps, the car starts to get, when you're exiting out of the infield onto the NASCAR one, I guess. I don't know what turn that is. There's so many darn turns. I guess as you're coming up the hill and it kind of flattens out, you get a little bit of negative banking. And so if you run that corner too fast, it'll push you out, make you loose. And then especially if you don't set up right for coming onto the NASCAR track, it'll get a little tight on you. So I think that damage was from I got a little tight into the wall there. So just pushing hard, trying to get every spot I could. And unfortunately, it was only 6th. So.
Well, there you have it. Brandon Osborne starting 3rd, and he will end up 6th. All right, Ryan, who you got?
Oh, you can talk to a few drivers I want to talk to, but let's talk to a great battle we were watching on track. Ryan Steinhoff and Wes Graham. Let's go to Wes first. Tell us about that battle, man. Tell us about the race. What was going through your head trying to hold Steinhoff off at the end?
I mean, it pretty much, it's road course racing, man. Once the green flag drops, it's you against the track. You're not really racing the cars around you until you get down to the nitty gritty like we did there. Man, it was a fun battle with Steinhoff. We got into each other on lap 1, and I kind of came and snipped at him across the radio, and I wanted to apologize to him about that again. But apparently he didn't hear it anyway, so that works both ways. But yeah, that last lap, I got held up a little bit by the 89 lap down car. He was just fast enough to where I could not get around him in the infield, and that closed in the gap on the let Steinhoff close the gap up on me. And then it was just hold on and hope that the rear tires will actually hook up. So it was very fun there at the end. Of course, coming into the last chicane, I missed the corner completely, but had enough turn back to the right to not cause myself to get a penalty and hit the turtle and end up pulling off P4, a top 5. I wasn't even expecting the top 10 tonight, just from how I saw Monday running. So it was a good race by everybody, and congrats to Rucci on the win here.
Right on. Thanks, Wes. Yeah. Good job by all the drivers, all the back markers for letting these guys up front race. You guys did a great job. We were watching on the broadcast, so thank you for that and great work. The other person I want to talk to is Dylan Macedo with the top 9. Dylan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, you're here. Tell us about your race. I know you were trying to hold off the 59 car there, and it looks like you guys might have got some contact there. Yeah, you tell us about your race.
Yeah, it's been kind of all over the place. I started 4th or 5th or something like that, and then I really fried the rear tires, and the car was driving like I didn't have any rear tires. It was pretty bad, and then I started losing a ton of time, and then I got caught, and then the car got so bad I couldn't even hold it, so I just went into the pits, set me back a little ways, came a little bit back toward Wes and Steinhoff, and then that's when that incident happened, and then went into the pits, and then got a black flag right after I cut the course there because I got hit in the rear. I mean, I did brake a little bit early, so I can't really blame Steinhoff for that. So yeah, I just got sent back a little ways and came back with fresh tires and got myself all the way back to 9th. So yeah, I can't complain about that.
Well, great drive by you, man. Way to fight through the adversity and through the black flags and having to pit and all that. So great drive by you to get a top 10 We'd love to see it. And yeah, that definitely looked like a racing incident there with you and Steinhoff. So I don't think he definitely meant to do that. But anyways, Jeff, that's it for me. We'll give it back to you.
Yep, I would be remiss if I didn't talk to the 73 of Stefan Benende. You had a great start. You had a lot of speed in practice there. Tell us about your race there. I know you had some back and forth with everybody almost there in the top 5.
Yeah, definitely had a ton of fun. It just racing these cars on this track. It takes a lot of skill and patience to race it. Basically what Wes said, it's basically just racing the track, and basically managing your tires, because the car had a lot of understeer in it and oversteer, so it was kind of on both ends of the spectrum. So the car was a tad bit out of balance, but you had to be on top of your game to be fast like Rucci. So congrats to Rucci Bot, just whooping our butts again. So yeah, I had a ton of fun. Thanks for the broadcast.
Fantastic. There you go. Stefan Benende started 4th. He ends up 3rd at a very windy end here to the Charlotte. Queen City 115. Thank you all. We will let you get on with your driver's meeting, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Appreciate the broadcast.
Okay, well, there you go. We heard from the drivers. It sounded like it was a difficult road for them. Get it? Road course. It was difficult for them, and they were able to... I was very surprised to see some of the drivers that are in the top 10 pull it off after, having those doubts at the start of the race.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw a lot less spins than I thought I would. These guys were able to hold it together on a probably one of the most difficult tracks of the schedule here. So on to bigger and better things as we head into... Where are we going next week, Jeff?
We are going to be going, I'll tell you here in just a second when we get that schedule up. We are done here at the Roval, so Darlington looking for those throwback schemes as we go to the Lady in Black, as it is known, and the top groove all the way around that track. And you'll be racing there on Monday, so you will know all about that. It's going to be all about getting your Darlington stripe. And I'm looking forward to that race. I know it's Wes Graham's favorite track, and that is the reason why it's on the schedule.
Oh yeah, a little advantage there to throw it on the schedule, but I'm looking forward to Darlington. So yeah, come on and check out the Monday night race if you want to see a little preview of what might happen Thursday. We just race for fun on Mondays, but thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you all for hanging out with us. My name is Jeff Favignano, and I was joined by Civ Ryan tonight. We'll see you next Thursday at around 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Racing right after 9 p.m. Eastern here on twitch.tv/jfavignano. We'll see you next week.